Sometimes the strongest feelings are the quietest ones. Not every man openly expresses his emotions, and many won't come right out and admit when someone is constantly on their mind. Instead, their feelings tend to show up in small gestures, subtle actions, and behaviors they might not even realize they are doing. When a man is secretly thinking about you, it often becomes visible through the little ways he pays attention, stays connected, and tries to be closer to you, without making his intentions too obvious. These are the quiet signs, the clues that hint at something deeper beneath the surface. Modern relationships can be confusing. Communication is easier than ever, yet understanding someone's true intentions can feel more complicated. People often overthink, second-guess themselves, or dismiss their instincts. But the heart has its own language, and when someone cares, their actions tend to reveal the truth long before their words do. That's why paying attention to subtle signals can help you understand what he's feeling, even when he's too shy, cautious, or unsure to confess it directly. When a man thinks about you more than he realizes, it shows up in the way he listens to you. He remembers tiny details that others forget. He notices small shifts in your mood, expression, or appearance. He reaches out just to say hi, checks in even when he doesn't have a reason to, and finds excuses to keep the conversation going. These little moments show where his mind wanders when he's alone. He might act normal on the surface, but his consistent attention reveals a deeper emotional pull. Sometimes, these signs appear in his behavior around you. Maybe he gets nervous, suddenly becomes shy, or tries a little too hard to appear confident. Maybe he steals glances, smiles more, or brightens up the moment he sees you. Even these small reactions are powerful indicators that you matter to him in ways he hasn't yet admitted. Human behavior is often most honest in its natural, unscripted moments, and attraction has a way of leaking out, even when someone tries to hide it. Other times, the signs show up in how he integrates you into his world. If he brings you into future plans, shares personal stories, or tries to impress you without being too obvious, it means he's imagining a deeper connection. And if he feels a hint of jealousy, lights up around you, or mirrors your behavior, it's because his heart is already involved. Understanding these quiet signs isn't about overanalyzing. It's about recognizing genuine affection expressed in small, meaningful ways. When a man is secretly thinking about you, his actions become little windows into his feelings, soft whispers of what he wishes he could say out loud. These subtle clues, when put together, paint a clear picture of someone who cares more deeply than he reveals. And once you learn to see them, his feelings become much easier to understand. 1. He remembers the little things. When a man is secretly thinking about you, one of the clearest quiet signs is how he remembers small details you barely recall sharing. Maybe you mentioned your favorite snack once, a childhood story, or how you prefer your coffee. If he brings it up later, or even surprises you with something connected to it, it's a strong sign his mind circles back to you often. Most people forget minor information unless it matters to them. So when he remembers the little things, he's showing that he listens closely and values what you say. It means he not only pays attention in the moment, but continues thinking about that moment afterward. Sometimes he'll bring up these details casually, almost pretending it's no big deal, but the effort behind it says otherwise. This kind of attentiveness usually comes from emotional interest or affection, even if he hasn't openly expressed it. His memory becomes selective, holding onto anything related to you, your likes, your routines, your experiences. This isn't just politeness, it's personal. It's his quiet way of showing he cares, wants to understand you more deeply, and is mentally investing in you even when you're not around. 2. He texts you for no real reason. Another subtle sign he's thinking about you is when he texts without a specific purpose. Instead of reaching out only when needed, he messages you just to say hi, share a meme, check how your day is going, or comment on something small. These no-reason texts usually mean he's looking for a way to stay connected. He may try to mask it as casual conversation, but the truth is that you crossed his mind, and he couldn't resist reaching out. This type of communication shows he enjoys interacting with you and doesn't need a practical excuse. It also reveals that he feels comfortable with you and wants to build closeness naturally. Even short texts like, "What are you doing?" or "This reminded me of you" show a desire to maintain contact and create moments of connection. He might even delay ending conversations because he doesn't want the interaction to stop. Whether he texts late at night, first thing in the morning, or randomly throughout the day, these messages show you on his mind more often than he wants to admit. 3. He mentions you in random conversations. If he brings you up in conversations with friends, family, or co-workers, without any real reason to, it's a strong indication you're frequently on his mind. People naturally mention those they think about most, even unintentionally. He might reference something you said, share a story involving you, or mention your preferences in discussions. These small mentions reveal that you occupy his thoughts beyond your direct interactions. It means moments with you stay with him, and your influence appears in everyday topics. Often, he won't realize he's doing it. Others may even point it out to him. This can be his subconscious expressing how important you've become. Mentioning you casually also shows pride and admiration. He wants others to know about you, even if he doesn't openly express what he feels. It's his subtle way of keeping you present in his world, signaling that you're more significant to him than he lets on. 4. He notices small changes about you. When a man quietly thinks about you, he becomes unusually observant, especially when it comes to even the tiniest changes in your appearance, mood, or routine. Maybe you changed your hairstyle slightly, wore a new shade of lipstick, or switched up your usual clothing style. While others overlook these details, he catches them instantly. This level of awareness happens because he pays attention to you more closely than he does to others. You naturally stand out to him. It's not just physical changes he notices, either. If your tone is a bit off, if you're quieter than usual, or if you seem extra cheerful, he picks up on it. His sensitivity toward these shifts shows emotional investment. People don't track small changes unless someone matters to them. It means he compares the before and after because he's tuned into who you are. This attentiveness also suggests he wants to make sure you feel comfortable, supported, and seen. Noticing small changes is his silent way of saying he's paying attention because you're important to him, even if he hasn't said it out loud. 5. He gets nervous around you. When a man likes you but hasn't said it, nervousness often becomes one of the quietest yet strongest giveaways. He may seem confident around others but becomes slightly awkward, shy, or fidgety when you're near. This nervousness shows he cares about how you see him and doesn't want to make a wrong impression. You may notice signs like him stumbling over words, adjusting his clothes, avoiding or holding eye contact too long, or suddenly acting more serious or talkative than usual. These behaviors aren't random. They stem from his desire to appear his best while feeling unsure of how to act because his feelings heighten the moment. Nervousness is also a result of overthinking. He's constantly aware of what he's saying or doing around you. Even small gestures, like fixing his hair when you approach or straightening his posture, reveal his inner excitement and anticipation. This isn't discomfort, it's emotional intensity. It shows he likes you enough that being around you affects him physically and mentally. His nervous energy is a subtle but undeniable hint that you occupy his thoughts more deeply than he lets on. 6. Your opinions matter to him. A major sign he's secretly thinking about you is how much weight he gives to your opinions. He doesn't just ask what you think to be polite. He genuinely listens, processes, and sometimes even adjusts his decisions based on your perspective. Whether it's about his goals, his appearance, a personal situation, or something happening in his life, he values your input because he respects your judgment and cares about impressing you. He may ask for your advice more often than he asks others, or revisit things you've said in past conversations. This shows that your thoughts linger in his mind long after you've shared them. He sees you as someone whose viewpoint matters, not just someone he chats with. The things you say influence him because he feels emotionally connected and mentally invested. He might even change habits or pursue new interests because you mentioned them once. When your opinions matter to him, it means he sees you as someone he wants to align with and someone whose approval holds emotional significance. It's a quiet sign of affection, and a strong one. 7. He shares personal stories. When a man is secretly thinking about you, he'll often open up in ways he doesn't with most people. Sharing personal stories, especially the ones that reveal his past, his fears, his dreams, or his deeper experiences, is a sign of emotional trust and a desire for closeness. Most men don't talk about vulnerable topics casually. They reserve those stories for people who matter. If he talks about his childhood memories, tough times he overcame, the people who shaped him, or even mistakes he's made, it shows he wants you to know him beyond the surface. He's allowing you into his inner world because he thinks about you enough to care how you perceive him. This openness also indicates he wants you to feel closer to him, to understand him, and to build a deeper connection. He may even tell you things he hasn't told many others, which shows you occupy a special place in his mind. Sharing personal stories isn't just conversation, it's emotional investment. It's a subtle way of saying, "You matter to me, and I want you to know who I really am." 8. He finds reasons to spend time with you. A man who's secretly thinking about you will naturally look for excuses to be around you. These reasons may look small, like offering to help you with something simple, suggesting quick hangouts, or conveniently being in the area, but they are intentional. Spending time together gives him a chance to feel closer, learn more about you, and deepen the bond without having to confess his feelings outright. He may suggest plans that don't feel like dates but still create quality time, such as grabbing coffee, running errands together, or accidentally joining the same activities or groups as you. Even when it's subtle, he purposely makes himself available. He might linger a little longer during conversations or avoid ending the interaction too quickly. This desire to be physically present is one of the strongest signs you're on his mind often. Wanting time with you is his unspoken way of showing interest. Time is valuable, and he gladly gives it to you. 9. He lights up when he sees you. One of the most heartwarming signs he's secretly thinking about you is the way his whole energy shifts when you show up. Watch his face. If it brightens instantly, even if he tries to hide it, that reaction is genuine and almost impossible to fake. His smile becomes wider, his eyes soften, and his body language opens up naturally. This kind of response happens because seeing you sparks excitement, comfort, and joy. You're someone who lifts his mood just by being present. Even if he was stressed or distracted before, you'll notice he becomes more relaxed, playful, or attentive once you arrive. He may stand up straighter, fix his appearance, or become more engaged in the moment. These automatic reactions reveal how strongly he feels about you, even if he keeps those feelings quiet. Lighting up around someone means they hold a special place in your emotional world, and in his, you clearly do. 10. He checks in on you often. A man who checks in on you frequently, without being asked, reveals a quiet but powerful sign that you're on his mind more than you realize. These check-ins aren't just casual questions. They come from a place of genuine care. He may ask how your day is going, whether you got home safely, how you're feeling, or if you've eaten. Even small messages like "just wanted to see how you are" or "did everything go okay" show that he thinks about your well-being when you're not around. This consistency is important. Anyone can check in occasionally, but a man who does it regularly is emotionally invested. It means he wants to feel connected to your life, to understand your daily experiences, and to let you know you're not alone. His concern is real, not performative. When he remembers things you mentioned earlier, like an exam, a meeting, or a tough situation, and follows up on them later, it shows he paid attention and kept you in his thoughts. Checking in is his subtle way of showing affection, support, and interest. It's his quiet reminder that you matter to him, even when he doesn't say the words directly. 11. He brings you into future plans. When a man is secretly thinking about you, he naturally starts imagining you in his future, even in the smallest ways. He might talk about a restaurant he wants to take you to someday, a movie you should watch together, or a trip he jokingly suggests you'd both enjoy. These hints may appear casual, but they are meaningful. He's mentally including you in moments he hasn't even lived yet, which means you occupy his thoughts beyond the present. He may also ask about your schedule, upcoming events, or long-term goals to see where your paths align. This shows his considering compatibility, connection, and shared experiences. When decisions come up, he might say things like "we should do that together" or "you'd love this place," revealing that he envisions you beside him. Bringing you into future plans, even subtly, demonstrates emotional investment. He sees you as someone worth building around, not just someone passing through his life. 12. He mirrors your behavior. Mirroring is one of the quietest yet strongest psychological signs someone is deeply tuned into you. When a man secretly thinks about you, he often unconsciously reflects your expressions, posture, speaking style, or habits. Maybe you use certain phrases and he starts using them too. Maybe you lean in during conversation and he follows. This behavior isn't imitation, it's connection. It shows his listening closely, observing you carefully, and aligning his energy with yours. Mirroring happens when someone feels comfortable with you and wants to create rapport without forcing it. It's his mind's automatic response to closeness and attraction. You'll notice he matches your pace, your mood, or even your texting style. If you're excited, he becomes more animated. If you're calm, he softens his tone. This subtle synchronization reveals that he feels drawn to you emotionally and wants to make you feel understood and in sync with him. Mirroring is his silent way of saying, "I'm connected to you," even if he never says it aloud. 13. He tries to impress you subtly. A man who's secretly thinking about you will often try to impress you, but in quiet, understated ways that don't feel obvious or show-offy. Instead of grand gestures, he puts effort into the little things that highlight his positive qualities. He might dress a bit nicer when he knows he'll see you, speak more confidently around you, or casually mention accomplishments without making it sound like bragging. Maybe he shows his skills when the moment naturally allows, fixing something, helping someone out, or showing intelligence during a conversation. These small efforts reveal that your opinion matters to him deeply. He wants you to see his strengths, his reliability, and his capability. He may also try to impress you by being extra considerate, remembering your preferences, holding the door, offering help, or making thoughtful suggestions. Even humor becomes a tool. He'll try to make you laugh or lighten the moment just to see you smile. His subtle attempts aren't about ego. They're about wanting to be someone you admire. He hopes that, without saying it directly, you'll notice his effort and see him as someone worth being close to. These small displays show that he's thinking about how you see him, which is one of the strongest indicators of hidden feelings. 14. He gets jealous quietly. Quiet jealousy is a powerful sign he's secretly thinking about you more than he wants to admit. He won't say he's jealous, and he won't make a scene, but you'll notice subtle shifts when another guy shows interest in you or when you mention someone else. His tone may change slightly, his expressions tighten, or he becomes quieter than usual. Sometimes he'll ask small questions. "Who's that?" Or "How do you know him?" Trying to sound casual but clearly wanting to know more. He might also become more attentive or try harder to impress you after seeing someone else get your attention. This type of jealousy doesn't come from possessiveness. It comes from emotional vulnerability. He cares about you but hasn't expressed it openly, so he suppresses his reactions to avoid revealing his feelings. Still, his body language speaks for him. He might look away, fidget, or act strangely protective without meaning to. Quiet jealousy happens when someone fears losing something they don't even officially have yet. It's his heart reacting before his mind can hide it. The fact that he feels this way shows you hold an important place in his emotions. 15. He remembers important dates. When a man remembers meaningful dates, your birthday, anniversary of something personal, a big exam, a work event, or even the day you mentioned a significant moment, it's a strong sign you're constantly on his mind. Most people forget dates unless they care deeply. So when he remembers, it shows intentional thought. He isn't just keeping track. He's paying attention because your life matters to him. He may send a message, buy a small gift, or simply acknowledge the moment to show he didn't forget. Even dates that seem minor to you become significant to him because they're connected to you. He might remember the day you first met, a funny moment you shared, or a meaningful conversation. This kind of memory shows emotional investment and admiration. Remembering important dates is also his way of making you feel valued. He wants you to know he listens, cares, and pays attention to the details of your life. It's a quiet but powerful gesture that communicates affection, consistency, and thoughtful consideration. This behavior makes it clear you're someone special to him, someone he thinks about far more than he admits aloud.